Alrighty, we're on. Take it away, Antonio.
Hi, everyone, and you're all very, very welcome to the demo day of our 7th edition of AdMaCom. AdMaCom is familiar to many of you. It stands for Advanced Materials Competition. And as I said, it's the 7th time we're running this, 2nd time this year. And today you will have the chance to meet the finalist startups in this cohort. So before we get started, I want to tell you what our agenda is going to be and tell you a little bit more about who we are, who we as organizers are. So we'll start off with a brief introduction and overview of our program, AdMaCom, and then we'll go straight into the startup pitches. That's why most of you are here watching today, to find out more about these 11 companies that are the finalists of AdMaCom 2021. I'll then ask you to stick around and vote for your favorite pitch, and I'll give you more details on that as we get to it. But it's as straightforward as it sounds. From the 11 pitches that you'll get the chance to listen to today, you might have a favorite, in which case we'll ask you to vote for that. Once we are done with the startup pitches, we'll go into a networking space. Maybe you're familiar with the Hopin platform, so we'll move there so that you can actually talk to the startups, ask them any questions might be on your mind after listening to their pitch, and generally get to know them. So that will be the Startup Finalists Expo, and I'll explain that as well as we get to it. And finally, the awards ceremony, where you get to find out who the crowd favorite was, the Mentor's Choice, and the AdMaCom winner will also take place on the same platform. So stick around for that. If you cannot stick around for that, then you will find out by following us on social media, you'll find out who the winners are. But the best thing would be probably to watch it live if you have the time for it. So before we get started, this is kind of a longish event. So if you want to grab a drink or make yourselves very comfortable, please do that. And then you'll get a chance to listen to 11 very, very interesting companies pitch for you today. Before we get into it, I'd like to thank the sponsors of AdMaCom. So we have 3 very loyal sponsors that have been supporting our advanced materials competition for a long time, and also for this edition. And these are IBB, Investitionsbank Berlin, Berlin Partner, and Sonnenberg Harrison. So I just want to thank them very much for making this possible. It's really important to support companies at an early stage and support a program that does that. So we really, really appreciate you being on board. Before we move on to the pitches, I wanted to quickly introduce INAM. So my name is Antonia, for those of you that don't know me, and I'm the Managing Director of Innovation Network for Advanced Materials, or otherwise known as INAM. And what we do, as the name might suggest, we encourage innovation in the field of advanced materials. How we do that is by bringing the right people, we hope the right people together, and then supporting them with these innovative ideas, products, and processes. We focus solely on advanced materials because we think it's a field that doesn't always get as much attention as it should. And also because we think that startups and innovation in this field, they don't always develop at the same pace as other technologies might, or other types of startups, let's say. So we think that they need additional support, additional connections to industry, to research, to specific kind of investors. And that is why INAM was created about 6 years ago, to foster this collaboration between the different types of actors we see in this field, be they startups, corporates, research institutions, or investors. You can find out more about us at inam.berlin. And what you'll see when you go to our website is that one of the main things we do is this advanced materials program, where we bring now about 20 startups a year through a very intense 2-week program. I'm sure the startups would agree that it was pretty intense, and then give them the chance to pitch in front of a wider audience. Throughout the year, we are a network of companies. So we have about, I believe, 85 companies in the network at the moment. These are the many different logos that represent them. So we work with companies from very early stage startups, like some of the ones that you'll see today, all the way to large companies that I'm sure you've heard of, like Bosch, Sony, Infineon, and also with research institutes that are in universities, like Humboldt University, that again, I'm sure you've heard of, and others that are more specialized within their field that you would have heard of if that's also your field. So what we try to do is bring all these members together, connect them so that new collaborations take place. And if you're interested in joining INAM, do reach out to us. You can become one of our members and then get in touch with all of these companies as well as the rest of our partners. What we do for our members is we facilitate their access to different innovation activities. One of those is our accelerator that you're now watching the demo day of. Another one is innovation challenges that we organize together with our corporate partners, especially. You also help them, and all of our members, we help them identify new technologies in the market. Oftentimes they come from startups, so we support with startup scouting. And more broadly speaking, we give them access to our resources, to our database that includes all the startups that we've ever seen from the advanced materials space over the last 6 years, and also industry updates and obviously the international network. What our hope is that by creating this network, we have a way for people to very quickly find who they need within the field of materials so they can further develop their innovation and their business. If you're a startup, you probably need industry connections from companies within your field that are more advanced. We hope to have these within the network. If you're a corporate, you probably want to find out what is new, what is exciting coming from research, coming from startups. And again, we hope to be able to shed some light on that. So AdMaCom is why we're all here today. It is, as I mentioned, the competition for startups in advanced materials. You can see pictures of back when we were able to meet in person. For the last couple of editions, we've run this online, and we hope to go back to in person and to having 10, 11, 12 startups in person in Berlin with us for 2 weeks as soon as spring next year. In the meantime, we're doing our best, but the good thing is that you can now watch this from wherever you are in the world. Next spring, you're going to have to come to Berlin to see the demo in person. The 7th edition, we've supported 78 startups so far. We are quite global in our approach, so we don't really mind what countries the startup come from. But we ourselves are based in Berlin, and our network is also probably the strongest in Germany. All right, this particular last edition of AdMaCom has taken place since October 4th. So it's now the end of 2 pretty full weeks for our startups. They've gone through so much during these last 2 weeks. So these are the finalists. You will hear from all of them today. We have 11 very, very interesting startups you can see from very different parts of the world joining us. And over the last 2 weeks, they've gone through about 200 mentoring sessions, a bit more than that, about 20 hours of trainings and workshops and things like IP protection, all other legal matters from material transfer agreements to how to negotiate a licensing deal. They've also heard from investors on how to improve their pitch. We've done business planning workshops. So we've done a lot of things, hoping that this will equip the startups with what they need for the next 6 months to a year, if not more. They can take their businesses forward and hopefully get investment. That's something that they're looking for. Most startups are looking for that regularly, and just figure out their next steps. And obviously we are here for the live streamed demo. Before we hear the pitches, I'd like to introduce you to our jury today. So at the end of today, as I mentioned, there will be a winner, even though we always say everybody's a winner, and just the experience itself is hopefully useful enough that you already feel like a winner. And just the fact that you're starting a company in advanced materials should make you feel like a winner anyway. But there will be a winner, an AdMaCom 2021 Autumn Edition winner. And so I'd like to introduce you to our jury, who will decide who this winner will be. First, we have Andrea Conte from Science Group. Hi, Andrea. I think you're here with us, I hope.
Hi.
Then we have Ralph Westerheide from Bosch.
Hello, all together.
Nice to see you. We have Ainara Garcia, I'm going to try this, Galastegi from CIC Nanogune.
Yes, it is tricky. Hello, everyone.
Daniel Binsfeld from Continental.
Hi, everyone. Looking forward to your pitches.
Nick Raub from Hightech Gründerfonds.
Hi, very happy to be here today. Thanks.
And Kai Uwe Binsal, who is just joining, I think, the call now, so he might have a slight technical issue, but he's with us as well, from Berlin Partner for Business and Technology, who I'm sure you know, especially if you're based in Berlin. Kai, I'm not sure if you can hear us, if you can say hello.
hear you. I can hear you.
Perfect. All right, so this is our jury, and you've seen briefly in my previous slide, you've seen the startups that were pitched today. So how we're going to do this, because we have 11 startups, and I'd like to make sure that you're all following along and you're sticking with us, is we've divided them into two parts. So we have startup pitches part 1 and startup pitches part 2. We'll take a little break in between them, but don't go anywhere. It's just a break for me to recap what you've heard so far. And then we will go into the second part. And that's pretty much it, very easy. Throughout the whole pitch process, if there's one particular startup that catches your attention, take a note of that, remember their name so that you can vote for them during the crowd favorite part. And with that, I will stop sharing my screen so that the startups can start sharing theirs. The structure of the pitch is very simple. We have 3 minutes, and that's really all you have. I will do my best to interrupt you very abruptly after 3 minutes. And then we have one question coming from the jury. All right? So if everybody's ready, I would ask Amphibio to step on the virtual stage and give us their 3-minute presentation.
Hello, ready now. So hello, my name is Jun Kamei. I'm the CEO and founder of Amphibio, where we make 100% recyclable outdoor textile. As you might have guessed, I'm an outdoor enthusiast. I run and cycle in any kind of weather. For people like us, a waterproof breathable garment is essential. But one big problem is they pollute so much textile wasted every year. And it's not only that, they also have toxic PFC coating on it and toxic PTFE membrane on there. Our product Amphitex solves all 3 of these issues. It's 100% recyclable, no toxic coating, and safe membrane. And we're able to do that by our patent pending technology, where instead of having different material being glued together, we just use one single material, which is very water repellent, and make all of the different layers of this performance textile. We're really unique in the space. We're the only one to cover both performance and sustainability compared to our competitors. And because of that, we're targeting currently the EU and UK waterproof visible textile market because of advantageous regulatory landscape. So there's a ban on PFC being planned, but also regulation on end-of-life responsibility, putting pressure on outdoor brands. And this is to those outdoor brands that we're going to sell our textile. So £10 per square meter and 2 square meters per jacket to make a jacket, and then 1 million jacket. And you end up with our serviceable obtainable market. In terms of achievement, we have 900K secured, 4 months to scale manufacturing, and expecting 15K from early revenue from commercial pilots. We just need to convert 2 brands for break even. And we are targeting 4 million profit in 60 months by producing 900K square meter of textile. And just to give you an idea, 900K square meter is the equivalent of 450K jackets. And that's like the amount of jacket made by just one company. So the team covers the material science part, but also the sportswear design side. So we have people like Graham, who's been a serial entrepreneur commercializing membrane tech, and people like Claire Miller, who's been an ex-Nike innovation team and developing advanced sportswear. We're also supported by industry experts from both the business and the technical side. And that's it. So thank you very much for your interest. If you're interested, please reach out to me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, June. Any questions from the jury?
Yeah, June, thank you very much for your pitch. Very interesting, really interesting and promising technology. I would be interested in the holistic sustainability picture, let's say. I mean, you've mentioned recycling, and this is obvious. This is a big problem. End of life is going to be the challenge of the next couple of decades. But I'm also interested in let's say, the beginning of the story. So I'm interested in whether you have done LCA. What is the basis of the materials or the feedstock? Is it fossil fuel? Is it something coming from bio sources? it would be great if you could guide us a little bit through this.
Yes, of course. So currently the version that we have is using oil feedstock, but we're doing currently a development where we know that the amount of plant-based feedstock can be improved to 50%. So that's currently what we're working on. So so yes, that will be the first answer to your question.
Okay, and in comparison to other textiles which are currently in use, like if you think about LCA, CO2 footprint, water consumptions, use of toxic materials in production, do you have any comparisons here?
Yes. So let's say amphibious solution was employed on a global scale. This is an amount that we can reduce. So we're currently doing a bit more detail LCA, and obviously I can't cover everything on that part in just a short amount of time, but just to give you an idea of the impact that we can have by using Amphitex.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, June. Great presentation. We'll continue now with Secure, if you guys are ready.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
All right, great. Hello and good afternoon, everyone. My name is Hafiz, and we are Secure, a clean tech startup with a mission to reduce energy consumption and GHG emissions across the chemical industry. Chemical separation processes such as distillation is widely used in the manufacturing of everyday products and consume 15% of the world's energy. This is equivalent to $3.6 trillion spent on energy every year. Distillation also consumes 1.2 trillion liters of water, and the fossil fuels burned to generate the heat required for distillation contribute to more than 10% of the world's carbon emissions. Secure is changing that. We are the sustainable solution to industrial chemical separation. By replacing the driving force of separation from thermal to mechanical, we are able to selectively separate chemicals at a molecular level. In fact, by removing the use of heat, our technology reduces the energy consumption and GHG emissions by 90%, while making the process 50% more economical compared to distillation. Our industrial solution has an ROI of less than 2 years. Unlike conventional polymeric membranes used in the water industry, Secure's chemical-resistant membranes can withstand harsh organic solvents without any problems. This unique property is made possible with our proprietary membrane cross-linking and modification technology. Secure's membrane has the highest flux amongst the competition. In addition, our membrane has a higher packing density due to our unique hollow fiber configuration. This means faster separation, higher productivity, and greater economic value for process plants. This is why we believe Secure can disrupt the market. Secure's technology can be applied in many applications across various market segments. Our current focus is in the vegetable oil industry. Secure will work closely with OEM partners to deliver a complete process engineering solution. The industrial system will be designed by Secure and manufactured by the OEM partner. Secure will be manufacturing and selling its membrane modules, creating recurring revenue. We have a huge potential addressable market of $10 billion, and our projected CAGR is over 200% for the next 5 years. This year, we have recognized a 6-digit revenue and well on our way to $500,000 by end of 2021. We are currently raising $15 million to fund the setup costs and OPEX for our membrane manufacturing facility, as well as R&D for new applications. Our leadership team is led by Dr. Farhani, an MIT Technology Review Innovators Under 35, amongst other accolades. Our technology management and business development team have over 70 years of combined industrial experience in membrane scale-up, production, and commercialization. Secure is currently operating in Singapore and Canada with 18 full-time staff. You can be part of our mission to create a more sustainable future. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Hafiz. Any jury questions?
Hi, thanks a lot for this great presentation. This is Nick speaking. Very impressive technology. I would like to a little bit better understand, you need to get in the process of the chemical industry, or in this case, first the vegetable oil industry. How are you doing your business development, and how are you kind of bridging the very long lead times of this process development to really get the technology set up in the customer's plant and running? I guess this takes a lot of lead time and preparation. How do you manage this part?
Sorry, you want to go?
Yeah, sure. So hello, everyone. I'm Mohammad Farahani. So thanks, Hafiz, for the presentation, and thanks for the question. So we are basically doing it in stages. So since this is a new technology and it's replacing an existing technology, what we are doing is doing it in different stages, from pilot to a small in-field implementation, and finally full-scale plants that we're building for our customers. So currently we've completed a few pilots, and now we're moving to the in-field implementation for the customers. So initially the implementation may take long for the first few customers, but eventually it's going to be a lot faster.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you both also for answering the question, Mohammed. So we'll move now to Thin Film Unlimited.
Thanks a lot, Antonia, and welcome everyone. My name is Kai Schlage. I'm a senior scientist at the Large-Scale Research Institute DESI in Hamburg. I'm one of the upcoming co-founders of Thin Film Unlimited, the specialist for advanced and novel nanocoatings. So nanocoatings are surrounding us in every day of our every part life. So in the area of optics, nanometer coatings, for example, control the functionalities of windows, glasses, and mirrors, and allow to precisely determine the properties of light transmission, reflection, anti-reflection, and even thermal isolation. So for sure, there are a lot of companies on the market who are specialized in this kind of coatings, but especially for planar or semi-planar objects. But the situation drastically changed when it comes to strongly curved objects. So now the inhomogeneity of the coating limits or even completely kills the functionality of the intended properties. And that's where we come into the game with our innovation. So we developed new deposition chambers, which go to a fully dynamic 3D coating process, allow for atomically precise 3D coatings with highest quality. So that's now how it looks. Here you see two videos where you see both of our chambers in action. And the speciality is now that our special mechanics and self-made control software allow to freely position the deposition sources and the object to be coated within the vacuum. We can coat up to 7 different materials in a coating run with practically most of the materials of the periodic table, alloys and oxide, and that with atomic layer precision. So with that, we offer 3 unique selling points. So first of all, the homogeneous coating of 3-dimensional objects, which is highly interesting for high-end devices. Second, we can modify the functionality of films just by simply depositing them in oblique incidence. So we create a nanoscale surface waviness, which changes drastically the properties. And within a big validation project, with one of the big players in the sensor market, we could already prove that this approach allows to drastically modify and precisely customize magnetosensors for the automotive market. We can even go one step further and produce separated nanostructures simply by depositing the material in oblique incidence onto planar surface for applications in medical coating, solar cells, sensors, and optics. So what's our business model? We offer a coating process. We offer the development of specialized coating and the characterization, nano-characterization based on the microscopy tool at DESI. So customers are at the moment mainly based in the research institute, and we more and more come up with a focus on small and mid-sized companies. And for sensor companies, we offer our licensing for the tuning possibility of magnetosensors. So for our spin-off, we have a very precise knowledge about our cost structures, or including the device usage agreement with our institute. And the price per coating run, in our case, is between 500 and 15,000 euro, depending on the object, the number of objects, the size, the material, and for sure the complexity of the deposition. So on the right side, you see our expected sales for the next 3 years, and we intend to achieve the break even at the end of the 2nd year. Our team has now more than 20 years of experience in coatings, nano characterization, design up and setup of coating devices and development of the control software. And especially in the beginning of our spin-off, we will strongly profit from customers of our strong international and interdisciplinary network in the research community. So call to action, we are here now for networking, so we are always interested in new customers and application of our unique coating possibilities. And for sure, we are also interested in financial support for funding for technical upscaling, especially after the third year when we plan to build up new deposition devices. Yeah, thank you very much, and I'm open for questions.
Thank you very much, Kai. Let's see if the jury has any questions.
Hi, everyone. This is Andrea. Thank you for your presentation. Your technology is very powerful. I would like to understand better how you are planning to scale up your venture, your spin-off.
So in principle, we can still increase on the existing basis of our deposition chambers the amount of coatings which we can do. And as I said, in the third, we plan to duplicate the existing and for sure also modify and optimize the existing coating chambers. We will set up new coating device to increase the possibilities. But for sure, it's not a plan for us to double the amount of every year, but we want to grow in a continuous and very good way. Don't want to scale too fast, for sure.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Kai. Next up, I will ask Poltis to present.
Hi, everyone. I'm Thomas. I'm a co-founder of Poltis, where we developed injectable polymer patches for soft tissue repair. At the beginning, we focused on hernia repair market, as hernia repairs are one of most common surgical procedures in the world, and most of repairs are performed with different kind of meshes. And imagine that the complication rate related to meshes can reach even 30%. Surgeons use either synthetic meshes, which do not degrade, cause chronic pain, and revision surgeries are quite common, or biologic meshes, which still are very expensive and they miss strength and durability. And what is the most important, meshes must be customized prior to implantations and sutured or tucked into place. We have a totally different approach. Our biomaterial is a liquid, and once it's injected, it's cured with safe UV light, and it transforms into flexible and highly adhesive patch in seconds. So instead of fixing and customizing mesh, you just inject the material and you cure it with safe UV light, and you get most customized implant you can imagine. We believe that we will shorten the procedure, the surgical procedures, up to 20%. And what is also important, our biomaterial slowly degrades in time, so it's eventually replaced with natural tissue. And as it is liquid, it's suitable for laparoscopic and robotic surgeries, which are becoming more and more common. We have a strong patent position already, 2 patents in the US and in Poland granted, and Poltis has exclusivity to commercialize the technology. The technology was invented at the university by Professor Mirosława L. She has a huge experience in cooperations with large companies. I'm responsible for exploring business opportunities, fundraising, as I have managed several companies with a couple of exits. We have access to strong scientific board. We also have access to strategic advisory from our angel investors, and also we use knowledge in terms of regulatory and approval issues, which is always important in terms of medical devices. We have just completed preclinical studies, and we proved the biocompatibility of our materials in animal model. Within a couple of months, we will start first in man trials. Later, we will obtain CE marking. we are looking for 3 million euro round of investment to go through first-in-man trials and obtain CE marking, and we are developing our relations with industry partners. As our technology is a platform one, we can use our materials in cardiac surgeries, orthopedics, and aesthetic surgeries. So this small syringe contains our biomaterial, which will surely change the surgery forever, and join us in bringing this technology to the market. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Thomas. Any questions?
Yes, it's me, Ralf. Really, that sounds to be a pretty good solution for everybody who has to go to a hospital with this problem. However, you tried your material and solution at animals. You have to do that with humans to make it mature. You need to convince, of course, all the people at the hospital that they use your product. Do you have a clear roadmap to do that? I've just seen that you said in 2022 you will do some first tests, but it's more behind that. You need a lot of approvals in this medical area. So is it clear how to do that?
Yes, we have a clear strategy. Of course, now after MDR directive was implemented in 2021, the process got a bit more complicated and a bit more expensive. However, we are working with CROs to smoothly go through clinical trials and all the approvals. In parallel to CE marking, we want to start FDA procedure. So yeah, we are prepared for that. And this investment round is just to go through first-in-man trials, which will give us good starting positions to invite investors for further clinical trials. And yeah, we believe that in 2025 our material will be available to sale.
Okay. Thanks, Tomek.
Thank you.
Thank you both. Next up, we have Niels presenting print optics.
Yes, let me share my screen. Can you see it in presentation mode?
Yes, we can.
Great. So I'm Niels, I'm CEO and co-founder of Print Optics, and Print Optics stands for the smallest optical systems in the world by 3D printing. Those of you who ever had a gastroscopy or a root canal treatment or anything like it know those are very unpleasant treatments, but not just for the patient, those are also very expensive and long procedures for the hospitals. But with the right optical instruments, those procedures can be made way cheaper, faster, and more painless, which means with less complications. So the endoscopes of the future have to be smaller and better than today. But also in other industries, optics and sensors have to be increasingly versatile and at the same time become smaller and smaller. There are established solutions to fabricate micro optics like wafer level production or micro injection molding, but all of those come with a huge disadvantage in NRE cost, in fixed and tool costs and development times. Our new approach is to build whole complex optical systems from the bottom up in a 3D printing process using nanoscribe machines. That means we build the whole optic in one process and one piece, and we can manufacture sizes from 10 micrometers up to 2 millimeters about. Only by combining our years of experience in optical design with our extensive process knowledge of the 3D printing process, we're the only ones who can offer complex 3D printed micro optics for competitive prices, especially for lower quantities. The benefit for our customers is ultra-fast realization of new ideas. We can move from the idea to the prototype in less than 1 week. The cost reduction in development process is obvious if you have no tool costs involved, as for us, and we can manufacture completely new systems that are impossible to manufacture in any other way. Our team is currently us two, my colleague, Dr. Simon Thiele, who is the optics genius of the both of us and who was substantially involved in the development of this whole technology, and me myself also technological background, but I'm handling the business side of things while still being very close to the technology. Our customers are spread out through different markets: medical imaging, fiber and chip communication, metrology and sensors, and of course, research. Over this year, our first year in business, we had already 14 happy customers and approximately 300,000 euros in revenue. And we estimate the market to become, it's really hard to estimate, but our educated guess is 500 million euros per year globally. Currently, we're an optic design and individual manufacturing engineering service and a prototype manufacturer for external series production. But we want to move away from that, move up to in-house series production, known product catalog, and finally add a digital platform for the design files. So we want to move from a design and prototyping service to a production. And to take this step that we are currently taking, we are not looking for investors, we're looking for partners to launch our technology and our products into the respective markets, especially medical and the chip and fiber communication. Thank you very much, and please contact me in case of any further questions.
Thank you, Niels. Let's hear from the jury.
Hello, this is INAM. Hello, Niels. Very nice presentation and interesting technology. I have a question. So you just said that you are moving on from prototyping to production.
Yes.
So from your point of view, which will be the TRL of your technology, in the sense that have you built up the prototype and have you tried it in a real scenario for any of the applications?
Yes, we over this year had already 14 customers out of every industry, and we sold to industry customers more on a prototype basis, not the serious production, but we have optimized the process to a point where we can actually offer serious production to quantities up to about 10,000 units per year. And we have one customer from the medical sector who is planning on ramping up. From next year, he will order 500 pieces per year and ramp it up over a few years up to 10,000. And we expect to get the process even more efficient so we can get higher quantities also managed.
That is great. So from your point of view, you think that maybe your main market now can be, for example, health, clinical, or?
Yes. Yes, our main market currently is medical, but we are also have many contacts, many customers in the chip communication, in the fiber and chip communication, where micro optics become increasingly well usable for applications.
Okay, that's great. Thank you, Niels. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Niels, for the presentation and Anara for the question. And now we'll go to Sungreen H2.
Can you see my deck in presentation mode?
Yes, we can.
Thanks. Sungreen H2 is creating novel, innovative advanced materials for the green transition. We are accelerating the energy transition by building the world's lowest cost, highest performance electrolyzer materials for green hydrogen production. Hydrogen is a phenomenal energy carrier. It burns, producing no emissions. However, almost the entire $180 billion hydrogen market today is supplied by fossil fuel-based gray hydrogen. This is responsible for creating 10 times as much carbon dioxide emissions as hydrogen when it's produced. So hydrogen production clearly needs to go green. A global landslide of legislation and decarbonization targets led by the EU are driving this. But green hydrogen today is 5 times more expensive to produce than gray. If we could make it cheap, it could play a huge role in energy transition. Today's electrolyzers are really the bottleneck to affordable green hydrogen. They are expensive and inefficient. Several electrolyzer technologies exist, and to improve performance, the industry is reliant on expensive platinum group metals, which are also limited in supply. How is Sungreen H2 solving to this problem? We are using low-cost, earth-abundant materials, working with them at the nanoscale, and performing nanocrystal engineering to increase the surface area available for water-splitting reactions dramatically. This leads to increased hydrogen production. Electrolyzers made with our materials achieve at least twice the hydrogen production with 10% lower energy consumption. This is how we're reducing both CapEx and OpEx cost. Most importantly, we also reduce the amount of platinum group metals used by 30 times. That's an order of magnitude lower than the current industry standard. The technology is under patent and can be applied not only to electrolyzers, but also to fuel cells and batteries. So our aim is to supply firstly electrolyzer components And we are also developing a standalone modular AEM electrolyzer design, which we intend to manufacture in partnership. We have a prototype in place, inbound interest from all over the world, and a pipeline that represents millions in potential revenue. The company is raising a seed round to deliver the first $1 million in revenue and further our development activities. We believe we're a very strong team to be doing this. I have $2 billion of transaction experience, having scaled renewable energy companies and led larger project investments in the past. My co-founder is an award-winning scientist with over 10 years of research expertise in nanoparticles and fabrication of nanoscale renewable energy devices. He's published over 70 papers. We are at AdMaCom to seek collaboration with partners in Germany and the EU to commercialize our electrolyzer materials. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. Any questions from the jury?
Yeah, thank you. This is Kai from Berlin Partner. So thank you for your very impressive presentation. Two short questions. So first, could you say a little bit more as to the intellectual property situation? So do you have already global patents? This is the first question. Second question, what is your business model? Huge market, huge money involved. Do you want to license your product? What are you aiming for?
Thank you for the question. First, about the IP, we are a company based in Singapore. We have filed our patent in Singapore. We are proceeding to file global PCT patents, for which we will then unlock the national phase in all the major markets. And then to come to your question about markets, of course, we seek to supply to the massively growing 100 gigawatt electrolyzer manufacturing market to begin with our components. And the idea is to commercialize the technology and look at licensing in future. Same goes with the electrolyzer design that we are currently developing. The idea is to license and manufacture in partnership.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Sarika. And thank you, Kai, for the question. So I see we have quite a few people watching this on live stream. So what I wanted to do now really quickly is to do a recap of what you've seen so far before we go into the rest of the presentation. So there is more, please don't go anywhere and stick with me while I'm sharing my screen, and I'll be giving you a very quick recap of what you've seen so far. So we heard from Amphibio that are working on 100% recyclable and PSE-free waterproof monomaterial. You then heard from Secure, working on a sustainable solution to industrial chemical separations. We then had Thin Film Unlimited, working, as the name suggests, on thin films and unique self-assembled nanostructures. We then heard from Tomek from Poltis about their solution for light-activated degradable materials for tissue repair. And the last couple of presentations, you heard from Niels telling you about how Print Optics are developing and manufacturing 3D printed micro-optics. And then Tulika from Sungreen H2 told us all about the electrolyzer technology for low-cost green hydrogen. So try to remember these names. If one of them really caught your attention and you think, oh, I have so many questions for these guys, stick around because you'll be able to go into the networking space after we're done with all the presentations and talk to them a lot more about everything they're doing. And obviously remember your favorite. As I said, we will have some crowd favorite voting going on later. All right. That being said, we're going to go now into part 2. So we have 5 more presentations for you. We have 11 startups in total. So we'll get back to that. So next up, the first after this very quick break is Fairdeck Sensors. If you guys are ready, you can share your screen.
Hello, can everyone see this?
Yes, we can.
Perfect. Hi, we're Fairdeck, and we make gas sensors small. And we do this by starting with the team, which consists of myself. I am a chemist and former group leader from Max Planck. Alexei, he is a sensor and semiconductor expert and department head at Fraunhofer. And finally, Heini, he is an industry expert and former managing director from NCAB. And together, we are taking on the sensor revolution. Sensors over the past 30 years have been miniaturized for electronic devices. But what about gas sensors? How come we haven't seen them yet? Well, it turns out that gas sensor technology has not changed much in nearly 50 years, still being used mostly for these legacy market applications. But that's then, and the future is looking very different. We will see them in our homes, in farms, and in IoT devices, And this will result in an explosion in the market. But what's the problem reaching this point now? Well, these markets demand smaller, inexpensive components that have multi-gas sensing functionality. And the winning technology has yet to emerge. Our solution addresses these problems in specific. And what our technology does is miniaturize the electrochemical gas sensor on a chip using advanced materials as the enabling platform. We do this using conventional microfabrication techniques used by the industry and combine this with our gas sensing materials. And in this way, we can achieve our prototype shown here that can sense oxygen and CO2 and is cheaper and smaller than competing technologies. If we look at other technologies in comparison across size, cost, and multi-gas, what we see is that not one other technology can accomplish all three at the same time. But it's important to note here, what you see here are competing technologies. The companies, though, are not competitors for us, but rather our customers. And this is how we designed our product. Our product is a licensable technology for these semiconductor and sensor companies so that they can build gas sensors using this technology. What we offer are gas sensor designs, sensing algorithms, and materials that we produce ourselves, and we'll be submitting a patent on this month. The technology only works with our materials, which adds a very significant layer of IP protection. So how are we going to get here? What's our roadmap? Well, phase one, we want to launch a pilot. And at the moment, we are looking at these industries and partners there and have received LOIs valued at 2 million euro. We are also working with a team of MBA students to launch the perfect pilot. After this, we will engage in phase two and fill those LOI orders and look at new gases. The goal of phase two is to demonstrate scalability and performance of the sensors so that we can enter the high revenue, lucrative markets of technology licensing. What we need at the moment is 1.5 million euro in investment and in funding to engage in the first half and to close those technology licensing agreements an additional 1.5 million. Thank you very much for your time. And if you want to join us on the next Sensor Revolution, let us know. We'd be happy to talk.
Thank you very much, Ryan. Any questions?
Hi, yeah, thanks a lot. Nick speaking. Very interesting presentation, very cool technology. I have kind of two questions very briefly. The first one is, of course, you are, let's say, this technology has a lot of advantages compared to the existing technologies, but of course, there are quite a lot of other companies working in a similar field. But what I've seen in the last couple of months, how can you really make sure that your technology is superior to the others in a similar field of development? And I know this is a little bit a mean question, sorry for that. And the second one, in this field, do you see the trend really going into the specific gas sensors, or is it like more coming up with better technologies to bring this kind of multi gas detecting devices or sensoring devices as a competing way to get to the same result, and then you can have you don't need the super miniaturization aspect?
Well, I guess the first and second question are sort of connected there. When it comes to other technologies, each technology has their specific uses and advantages. What we offer here is something that is definitely smaller and multi-gas and also cost. So those are the three most important. However, there are certain technologies such as optical ones, infrared, for example, that have their specific advantages, specifically with accuracy. Spectroscopy is wonderful for that. Those are different markets. Those sensors are also larger, so they serve different markets as well. For technologies that we don't know about, I can't comment on, but what we are really looking towards is scalability. Our technology is completely in line with what industry uses to make sensors or to make chips, and therefore is transferable to this technology. So what we offer is something that scales a bit quicker than some other technologies that require more development in that sense. And your second question, can you repeat that, please?
Oh, I think you already answered it with regards to other ways to get there, or other technologies. So great answer. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, we will now go to Jasper and expect things. I think, Ryan, you need to stop sharing your screen so that Jasper can share his.
Of course.
All right.
All right. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, perfect. Hi, everyone. I'm Jasper van Urk, and I'm here to talk to you about expect things. But first of all, I would like to say that I really like cars, because the fun thing about cars is whenever you run into problems, you can always fix them as long as you have the right spare parts. But for humans, the situation is slightly different, because for humans, there are no spare parts. Now, what if I could tell you that we could print these spare parts using stem cells? Well, enter the field of biofabrication. Now, biofabrication is the technology which is focused on everything related to 3D printing cells or tissues. Now, in order to 3D print tissues, you need three main components. You need to have your cells, as they are the building blocks of your tissue. You need to have a specific design to know where to deposit which cells, but you also need to make sure that your cells are printable. And for that, you want to combine them with other materials, which are called bioinks. And these bioinks make sure that your cells survive the printing process, but also make sure that your cells are printable and will support the cells during cell culture. Now, why would you want to 3D print cells? Well, there's a whole range of applications. And the dream we have is, of course, that one day we could use this to print spare parts like donor tissue, but we can already use it today to replace anything related to animal testing. But one thing which is clear is that these bioinks are the piece of the puzzle. And this is what we're developing at Expectix. By relying on a brilliant team of scientists, which are supported by an experienced advisory board, we really are the unique player in the field, because we have a very experienced team with over 150 research papers, resulting in all the required expertise in terms of polymer synthesis, formulation development, processing expertise, and application development. And on top of that, we can rely on a unique IP-backed material toolbox, which allowed us to come up with a state-of-the-art portfolio of ready-to-use bioinks for technologies going from conventional deposition-based 3D printing all the way to very high-resolution multi-photon lithography. And because of this unique IP, we have some unique formulations in the sense that we have the highest resolution biodegradable material and the only material which enables high-resolution printing of cells down to 1 micrometer precision. And this is what really sets us apart from the competition, because we are currently the only player in the field who is active in this high resolution field. And on top of that, we also support the more conventional field. So with this unique selling proposition, we want to target the biofabrication market, which is a young, rapidly growing market, which has two interesting features. 40% is covered by materials or bioinks. And secondly, there's multiple different printing technologies as reflected in our portfolio. So we want to target this market via direct sales of a ready-to-use portfolio, for which we rely on distributors on the one hand, and perform direct sales on the other hand. But on top of that, we can also perform custom research to come up with tailored formulations for your needs. So in that respect, we are currently looking for around 3.5 million euros to launch the company. And if you are interested in bioinks and cannot find what you need in our portfolio, feel free to contact us, because I'm sure we can develop a custom material for you. So with that, I hope that I've convinced you to invest in the future of healthcare, or in other words, in your future. Feel free to reach out to us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jesper. I'm definitely convinced. Any questions from the jury?
Hi, yes, this is Daniel speaking. Very, very nice presentation. So great story. Obviously, still sounds a little bit like science fiction, printing tissue and organs in the end. I'm just wondering, this goes a little bit more into the direction of the business part. So you mentioned a couple of things that you could target as your customers, but for me, it's not really clear in which direction you want to focus on first. So what are your plans? Where do you see your revenues come from in the next couple of years?
Yes, so we currently have distribution agreements with some printer builders. So the ones on this slide. So we have some agreements with Felix, Nano, and Regenmat. So they are offering our materials in their portfolio, just they build the printers. And we have solutions which are tailored to the needs of their systems. So this is one steady revenue stream. On top of that, we are also performing custom research. For example, Stemson is a company focusing on hair regeneration, for which we are developing a tailored formulation. So in that sense, it's a research agreement where we also generate revenues. And then finally, we will also start to focus on direct sales to the end user. So, and the end users, in our case, are companies focusing on the development of technologies based on biofabrication.
Okay, thank you, Jesper.
Thanks very much, Jesper. Next, we go to immaterial.
All right, hello. Oh. Can you see the slides?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, okay. Hello, I am Ben Dyer. I'm a commercial associate at Immaterial, and I'm here to speak to you about MOFs. So firstly, what is a MOF? It's an abbreviation for a metal organic framework. And the easiest way to describe this is to think of how a sponge absorbs water, a MOF adsorbs gas. So MOFs have been around for 25 years. There are over 100,000 in existence. They are highly tunable to pick up any gas. But unfortunately, due to the way they're made, they exist as nano powders, so they must be compacted. And this decreases their properties. So the mechanical stress from compaction can negatively impact the porosity. So our invention, pictured on the right, is a new method of growing MOFs as a monolith material with much larger particle size. And this essentially unlocks this 25 years of research into MOFs, now in a usable form factor. So where are we using this? Firstly, the breathable air market. So MOFs can be used to filter harmful gases out of the environment, inside office space, inside the International Space Station, airplanes, cars, or also to filter out chemical gases in gas masks. So this is our most near-term market, and we aim to have sales by the end of 2024 in the region of 100 tons a year within breathable air alone. A second large market for us is carbon capture. So we can very efficiently pull CO2 out of waste gas from large power plants. And this is slightly more midterm, and we aim to have commercial sales by 2026. And the last market I'll share today, there are a few others, but our last major market is hydrogen storage. So we're in development and partnership with Department of Energy, major gas companies, energy companies, train companies, research organizations. And we aim to have prototyping within vehicles by 2025. So what are we here for today? We're looking to raise money so we can build a factory to provide these sales for customers who have already shown great interest. So we're looking for 5 million to raise in the first half of next year. We have a great team I can expand on, a wide range of experience, and a total of 15 full-time employees now. And with that, thank you for listening. Do you have any questions?
Thank you, Ben. Let's hear what the jury wants to ask.
Hello, Ben. Here, Inara. I have two questions. The first question is related to the IP. So I saw in your presentation that you have the technology patented, the monolith is patented, but I guess that you are still working maybe at the university. How are you building up the patent portfolio for the company?
So Nigel on the right there is our IP director. He has dealt with all the IP. Yeah, we have the IP for the production process for monolith. So that covers anyone from commercializing MOFs, which can be used in with a form factor that is usable in real world applications.
Okay, and maybe it's related to your answer, but you said that for one of the applications you have the sales perspective by 2024. For other applications, you are expecting the prototyping by 2025.
Yes.
So, by today, Do you have for any application a prototype already finished and maybe proved in a real environment?
We expect to have so within 6 months within the indoor air. We have sent samples off to a customer in the breathable air market, 2 separate markets within breathable air. Mm-hmm. So we expect, so we've validated the materials and we're inputting them into the product itself now. We should have those results, as I say, within 6 months.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much, Ben. I must say that the monolith technology, it's interesting, it's impressive. Yeah, what you have done. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you very much, Ben. Next, I'll go to Asa so she can tell us all about Omelette.
Yes, hi everyone. Please bear with me. We have a little bit of technical difficulty here, but we should be fine.
No worries, and we have your slides somewhere as backup if you need us to share. Okay, that works. So you don't need
it. And I have another question. You cannot see my face probably, or can you?
Not anymore, sadly.
How about
now?
Now
we can. Now we can.
Okay,
we can see your slides and your beautiful face. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. So, hi everyone. We are Omelette and we are developing a rapid and cost-effective cancer diagnostic device. Cancer is a killer. We already know that, but it doesn't need to be. We need to detect cancer earlier than what we are doing right now. The problem is in the current workflow of cancer diagnostic. What we do right now is that we take the tissue from the patient, then the pathologists look at the tissue sample under the microscope to confirm the cancer, and then they send it to another set of labs to do molecular analysis and say what therapy to suggest to that patient. This process is invasive, expensive, and time-consuming. We are aiming to revolutionize this process. We would like to have only the blood test from the patient, and then we examine the cancer cells using our optical spectroscopy technology, and with the help of AI, we can suggest the right therapy for the patient. Our process is non-invasive, is cost-efficient, and it only takes a couple of hours. Our technology is based on single cell isolation and doing optical spectroscopy on that using our optical fiber optical tweezer. What we do here is that we take the optical response of the cancer cells. Cancer cells, just like coronal cells, they also have these surface proteins, and that's exactly what we detect and we use for the detection and the categorization of cancer. So we take the data, we take the optical response from the cancer cell, we put that in our machine learning algorithm, and then we can detect the cancer. So far, we have shown 93% accuracy for the detection of 2 cancer types against each other. Our test can be suggested to the patient not just by the oncologist, but also by the specialist as well as general practitioner. Early diagnosis means we will be able to increase the survival rate of the patients and save a lot of money for the healthcare system. In comparison to our competitors, we are offering technology which is much cheaper and also much faster. Again, it's a technology that is not specific to a certain cancer. It is scalable to all cancer types. The market of cancer is massive. We are aiming to enter this market from the gastric cancer, which is 23 million only in Germany. What we're doing right now is developing our POC, and we are aiming to raise 1 million pre-seed money. We would like to use that money to incorporate and expand Omelette next year and do tests on clinical quality samples, and then increase our efficiency on the gastric cancer and start in-clinic tests by the end of next year. Our team is very strong on the technical side. Myself and Max, we are the core team. Our advisor in France is helping us with the measurements right now. We also have a bio expertise as advisor from CureVac and also one of the leading professors of liquid biopsy who will be joining us, our advisory board, while we incorporate. And we also would like to add pharma on our team. So for collaboration and investment, please feel free to contact me. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. Thank you, Asa. Any questions from the jury?
Yeah, Antonia, Kai here, if you allow a question, please. So you are at Omlaut in a quite extremely competitive market. So could you please elaborate a little bit more on the competition which is underway, and then how you try to convince a strategic partner really become to come close to the market?
Yes, of course. So, of course, the biggest competitor, we have to consider this on the technology side. So, NGS is a very compelling technology that is also going up right now. I'm sure everybody has heard from Grail as well. But what we would like to say is that we do not look at those technologies as our competitor. Actually, they are compatible with us. So we are going to be able to combine these technologies together and actually offer something which is able to detect cancer faster. So we actually have to, we need those data as well to put in our machine learning and then correlate our data with that data to be able to say, to actually show our results. So that technology, which might look as a competitor, is actually a compatible technology.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks very much, Etta. We're getting close to the end of our startup pitches. We have one more pitch for you from 3D Strong, from Maria. She's ready.
Yeah, I'm ready. Can you see my pitch?
Yes, we can.
Yeah. Okay, nice. Hello, my name is Maria. I'm CEO and co-founder of Fairdeck Strong. We developed additives which will increase mechanical strength of 3D printed materials. Nowadays, 3D printing industry are used more for prototyping because existing materials has low mechanical strength and durability. We have developed additives which will allow to print real things for real use. We already did improve our technology with industrial partners, and we did independent certified test results. And we proved that adding just 0.5% of our additives to existing material can increase mechanical strength 3 times, durability of the end product 4 times. Our additives can be used not only for 3D printing materials, but also can be used in the polymers, plastics, metals. And they can be used in such industry as aerospace, healthcare, automotive, and others. Our business model is selling our additives and licensing our technology for the producers of 3D printed materials and chemicals producers. Our potential clients are 3D printed materials producers and chemicals producers. We already have pilot test. We already signed 3 MOUs with liquid polymers producers and with filament producers. And we already got a pre-order for the first year for the 24 kilograms of our additives. Our technology is protected with know-how, and we already apply for PCT application. We have a very strong team. Our R&D team has experienced more than 25 years in nanotechnology. I'm the CEO of the company, has experienced 20 years entrepreneurship and response for the business part in the company. Also, we are supported with ABC Accelerator Group, reactor commercializations, and EIT raw material. Also, 3D Strong in 2020 hit the top 5 of promising carbon nanotube startups impacted in engineering. In earnest, we are planning to make fundraising, establish small-scale production of our additives, and to start sales our additives to the market. At the moment, we are looking for the investments. We are looking for the €500,000 to establish small-scale production, which will give to us to cover the demand of the 3 clients and to give to us revenue at about €1,500,000 and the profit at about €800,000. Thank you for attention. Let's print real things for real use. I open to your questions.
Thanks very much, Maria. Let's take a question from the jury.
Hello, Maria. It's Ralf from Bosch. Using CNTs, we can really have good mechanical properties. We know that. However, normally what we need is a material with very good properties, and of course we need a cheap material. Could you please give us an idea about this cost-benefit ratio?
Like we produce nanotubes ourselves, and the production cost is cheap, and We assume to sell our materials for 10,000 euro for 1 kilograms, but the users who wanted to use to mix our materials, they just use some milligrams of our additives, and to the producers of materials, it will give just 2-3% of additional expenses to the productions of the materials, but the value of that materials will bring 3 times higher mechanical strength.
Thank you for the explanation.
All right, thank you very much, Maria, and thank you to the jury for all of your questions. That wraps up. It wraps up our startup pitches part. So what I want to ask you to do now, and this goes for everyone except the jury and except the startups, is to please vote for your favorite pitch. So to do that, I'd like to ask the audience, and I see we have about 50, 60 people watching on YouTube. So these are the people I'm talking to go to this website. You can do it from your phones, laptops. So sli.do, SLI.do. The password or the word you're going to have to put in there is AdMaCom, and then you can vote for your favorite pitch. So easy as that. Consider how much you like the presentation, what you think about the technology, what you think about the team. And startups, please be fair, do not vote for yourselves. We will know. We'll actually not know, but I'm hoping that you are all very honest people. While you do that, I'd like to remind you who you saw in the second part of the pitches. So we heard from Fairdeck, working on miniaturized electrochemical gas sensors and microchips. We then heard from Expect Inks, telling us about biofabrication via state-of-the-art bio inks. Then we heard from eMaterial that are working on MOFs. These are specialized in metal organic frameworks. Finally, we heard from Omlaut about how to detect and categorize cancer faster and cheaper. And we finished quite strong with 3D Strong, additives based on modified CNTs, that's carbon nanotubes. So these were the last 5 you heard from. And just another quick reminder, these were the first ones, right? So you have a couple of minutes now to vote for the crowd favorite. And while you do that, I would ask Konstantin Hansen from IBB to join me to say a few words from IBB as our main sponsor.
Yeah, hello everyone, hello Antonia. I hope everyone enjoyed the last 2 weeks AdMaCom intensive work and networking sessions. My name is Konstantin, and together with my colleague Desi Tortzen, we joined the AdMaCom in the mentoring sessions now, I think, for the 6th time. I'm a key account manager at IBB, and our task is to help companies to find suitable financing instruments for their financial needs here in Berlin. The IBB, oh, it's very dark. So, the IBB is a public development bank owned by the city of Berlin, and our task is to support companies in realizing their projects, investments, and R&D activities here in Berlin. With our activities in supporting companies, we want to create qualified jobs and make Berlin a location for science and technology. IBB is also a sponsor of the AdMaCom because we think the AdMaCom is an excellent platform for getting in touch with tech companies from all over the world and show them that Berlin has much to offer for them. And of course, it is always a success for us to convince a company to come to Berlin and start up its business here, like we could achieve a few times in the past before. Yeah, thank you, Antonia. And I think now we go back to you for a moment.
Just for a moment, because what we did now is we closed the crowd favorite voting so that the next announcement that Konstantin will make will not influence your decision. So throughout the 2 weeks, I mentioned that we had a lot of mentoring sessions. We had about 60 mentors or so meeting the startups in one-to-one sessions, talking to them about their technologies, their teams, and then giving them feedback and advice. So after those sessions, we always ask the mentors to rate the startups based on their chances of success. And we have a mentor's favorite award, which I will ask Konstantin to present in the next slide. Let me know if you want me to go to the slide already, or if you want to say a few words beforehand.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, thank you. And yeah, today I have the honor to announce the winner of the AdMaCom Autumn 2021 Mentors Choice Award. And I got this information right now from Chris. Yeah, and the excitement is thing. And the winner of the Mentors Choice AdMaCom Award Autumn 2021 goes to Immaterial from Cambridge, UK, with the advanced technology of metal organic framework materials. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations, guys.
For the mentors. Very helpful to you.
Thank you, Ben. This is an important award for us because these are very much expert opinions. So congratulations for that. For the rest of the awards, to find out who got the crowd favorite and then who will be the jury's choice, we'll invite you to stick around a little bit longer and you'll be able to find out, because obviously for that, the jury needs to first have a conversation and discuss who should win. So what are we doing next? For the jury, nothing changes. You stay right where you are, and we will send you to your special room where you get to decide the winners. You have about 40 minutes to do that, maybe a little bit less. For everybody watching us from home, your offices, wherever you are, you now have the chance to meet the startups and do a little bit of networking. So if we were in person somewhere in Berlin, just try to imagine it, you would now be leaving the stage area and you'd go to the booths of the startups and chat with them. We're going to try to recreate that experience online. We know it's not the same, but we would really encourage you to try to follow us along and do that, because it's really important for the startups to know who was watching them, what questions came up, and to hear some of your opinions and feedback. So what I'm going to ask you to do is head over to Hopin. So if you're watching this on YouTube, the link is now in the chat. And there you will be able to very quickly register, and then you'll see the startup booths under the expo area. It's on the left side, you see expo, and then the booth. Very intuitive. You click on the startup you want to talk to. You then ask to share your video and audio, and you're in the booth and you can talk to them. For the startups, I would ask you to leave the Zoom call, head over to the Hopin platform as well, so you can say hi to your guests that will hopefully come and visit you at the booth. So hopefully that's kind of clear. If you're in the audience, just go over to Hopin, hop into the booths that are under the expo area. For the startups, you have your own links to go and be the hosts of these booths. We will be there until about 4 p.m. And then at 4 p.m., we will announce the winners in that same platform. So we will announce who the AdMaCom winner is and the crowd favorite. We'll tell you again about the mentor's favorite too, just in case you missed it. And that will be the end of our time together today. So I hope to see most of you over there. And in the meantime, I wish the jury best of luck in deciding the winner. I know that's always a hard conversation. So see you all.